Good afternoon, everyone. The video this afternoon is going to focus on a very, very important function here at the college, and that is our Dean of Students. We're going to talk about all the services that we provide to help our students navigate a relatively complex academic environment. And one of the things we are really focused on at Southeast Community College is it's not just about helping students obtain a very wonderful skill set or strong knowledge base in regard to a particular content. It's also to grow personally and to grow in terms of life skills. We want students, when they leave SCC, to know how to be resilient, to know how to overcome an obstacle in a very positive way. So I'm going to invite a friend here. She is our Dean of Students and also the Lincoln Campus Assistant Director, and that is Teresa. Her name is Teresa Webster. And she's going to tell us, well, what services do we provide our students, and how does that help them be successful here at the college? So let's invite Teresa. Okay. I believe Teresa has done some wonderful things that we can hear about. She should be joining us any second now. And good afternoon, Teresa. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing great. I just gave you a nice introduction talking about how one of the really important functions at the college is to work with our students to help them navigate a relatively complex environment. And we're not just focused on helping them be successful in the classroom, but also we want them to have very strong life skills. We want them to be able to communicate effectively, to be resilient. And I told them, you were an expert at those things, and you've done some great things, and we'd like to hear about those things. And how do you and your folks help students be successful here at SCC?
Right. Yeah, in student affairs, we've been really busy making sure that our student support services are available in this virtual world. You know, things like our student success coaching. We know that time management, study skills, and test taking look and feel really different in this totally online environment. And that may also include, you know, not only the students' educational tasks that they're completing for their class, but it could also include students managing their children's educational tasks or vocational tasks if they're working from home, or also making sure they're connecting and with family and friends. And so those relational tasks. And so we're also making sure we have services available to help students really address and nurture all those areas of wellness. We're also making sure that our counseling services are available in this online environment. And so our counselors are available and ready to provide services for students. We're also doing support groups. Our student organizations are also busy, things like our multi-ethnic student organization, our Pride group and Student Senate, moving those to the virtual environment so our student organizations can continue to meet and plan services and supports for students that are relevant to them. We're also really busy connecting students with employers. Right now, you know, vocationally, things are a little touch and go, we're unsure. And so our career services folks are working with our employers to identify current needs, but also future needs, and really making sure students and helping students practice interviewing and resume writing in a virtual world. So we're trying not to skip any beats and making sure we can still provide students the services that they need to really make sure they're addressing and meeting their emotional wellness and their relational wellness, vocational wellness, in addition to their academic.
I know, Teresa, thank you for that. I know that there are two programs I know that you're very proud of, and one of them is called the CAPS program, and the other one is, I think we call it Care Teams. Would you like to talk a little bit about maybe both of those programs, but with the CAPS program, I believe we have partnerships with a couple of different colleges that help provide us some counseling services. Could you tell us about that?
Absolutely. Our CAPS program, which stands for Counseling Assistance Program for Students, provides free mental health support and services to SCC students. And so this is a really amazing opportunity for our students. And we partner with DONE, their Masters in Counseling program, and UNL's Masters in Counseling program and Children and Family Therapy program to bring master's level counseling interns to provide those additional services and supports. So that means we're able to serve a lot of students. And so, you know, at this time we have enough interns and services to meet the student need. So we don't have waiting lists, and we're really able to provide those services that students need. They've also started a couple of support groups for students to work on things like wellness and positive psychology, and really developing that resilience in students and managing stress. And so that's a pretty awesome opportunity for our students as well.
Teresa, I was thinking as you were talking about that, you know, it's fascinating the time that we're going through. This is obviously a very unusual, challenging time for everyone, but it's also adversity gives us an opportunity to be creative and really innovate. But as you're talking, I was thinking as a society, not just in the US, but across the globe, we're doing something that I think you would never hear a counselor say to anyone. You would probably never hear. What we want you to do is we want you to isolate yourself from people, stay away, try not to connect. I don't think a counselor would, I don't think that's a psychologically healthy thing to encourage people to do, but that's what we're doing. So I think one of the great things is if a student is feeling isolated, because we're telling them to isolate, but there's some negative consequences associated with that. And if they're starting to, the good news here is we know it's temporary, but it still can take a toll on one's sort of you know, chemistry. It can certainly take a toll on how you're feeling about things. And so I would encourage students, and I'm sure you would join me in this, and don't feel uncomfortable about that. That's a real thing. And if you need to talk to one of our CAPS counselors, we're there for you. I really think it's not something that we've heard a lot about, but we are telling everyone to do the opposite of what a counselor would probably normally tell people to do. Does that sound reasonable?
That sounds absolutely reasonable. Yes, we are social beings and our brains are wired for connection. And, you know, if students are feeling like it's just becoming increasingly difficult to focus or to find joy, or if they're feeling more alone, if they're having trouble sleeping, more trouble than normal, if any of those things are occurring, you know, we really want students to know that there is no shame in asking for help. These are completely normal reactions to a really unpredictable, unusual time. And so, you know, we want students to feel okay with asking for help and reaching out.
Teresa, I think the only shame that's going on is, you know, that I always wear this jacket with the logo, and you're trying to shame me by having a better looking jacket than I have, but I actually have almost the same jacket. No, I do think it's really important. And one of the great things, we have some wonderful technologies, which we're showcasing right now through Zoom, where we can connect. We can put people in breakout rooms, and no, it's not the same, but it's a lot better than it was a few years ago. And I think with the broadband capabilities that we have, we are doing everything we can to connect as much as possible while still keeping safety in front and center. What else would you like to tell the college or anyone watching the video here before we kind of wrap it up?
Yeah, I think, you know, you had mentioned Care Team, and Care Team is our multidisciplinary team where, you know, for students maybe that are having a few more difficulties and need a few more resources, with that being, you know, mental health, basic needs, social support, academic, we have a team that can come together and really provide coordinated support services for our students. And really help identify with the student, you know, and collaborate. What are your strengths? Where are your challenges? And how we can really use your strengths to overcome some struggles and barriers. And so, you know, I would say to anyone, whether that be faculty, staff, students, if, you know, you have a student or you are a student and you're experiencing these difficulties and really would like some extra support and kind of group to kind of wrap services around you and support you, we're absolutely here for that, and just want to help.
You're really good, Teresa. I'm already feeling better just talking with you. I was a little bit isolated a minute ago. Now I feel connected and I'm ready to be successful. How about that?
That is amazing. Great.
Good job, Teresa. All right. Well, say bye to the college. We're going to wrap this one up. Great job.
Thank you.
Take care.